Hello again, I'm back with another automotive related video because this time we've got the Eyes AI dash cam from Akio, which they've kindly sent to me that I'm going to test out. And I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen an AI dash cam because the AI part of it apparently gives you lots of extra features that an old car like this doesn't have, but new cars do. Such as lane change warning and pedestrian warnings so don't hit pedestrians, and collision warnings and backup warnings and all sorts. So that's what this does apparently. I'm kind of keen, and it's brand new. It comes with this box and a wiring harness, so should be some installation to do too. But anyway, let's first get out of the box and we'll see what all the bits are because I'm intrigued. All right, let's see what's in the box. So this brand Akio I haven't come across before, but it's Japanese and the quality seems good from what I can read online. So let's have a look. I'm gonna start with the box and then we'll get to the little bag over here. So I don't know what's in this other than obviously that. Oh, there's two boxes, all right. We have the Sonic AI dash cam. It's gonna fall down, isn't it? Stay, stay. No, won't stay. And then we have, nothing in the box there. There's the rear camera. So we have the front and the rear. And I didn't think this through, so they're gonna, oh no, they're staying, yay. And we'll unpack this before it falls down itself. So very sturdy box. Here is, what's this? What does that say? Stick the Akio cam here. Oh, so it's like a mounting template, I think. Okay, right, fair enough. In here we have then some foam. Here's the device itself. That's it, that's all there is in that bit. Okay, so it's pretty heavy, feels chunky. So I guess it's going to stick on the window like that, and those two are the lenses that point out and it's all protected, so when I put my fingers on it doesn't matter. And we have a button here on the side, which is the record button. I suspect that's, you know, record the bit that just happened, like most have. There is an SD card slot there. There's an R, probably a reset button, and then there's a microphone on the side there. And then we have a up and down toggle button thing. And on the top we have a USB-C for the rear camera, R-cam, there. And then we have a sticky bit to put on the windscreen itself. And then this will not move. Really? Oh no, it does move, there we go. It's just a bit just tough, very good. And then the power goes in there. So that's what there is on this thing. Okay, I'm assuming we get lots of power cords here to go with it. So we have a USB. Okay, that's probably how we're powering it. Right, so we need a cigarette, what, 12-volt lighter for that. There is some screws. There is another mounting bit here, sticky, double-sided sticky tape. There is I'm not sure what that is. I guess we'll find out what that is. Stay. And we have, for the rear camera, a very long lead. We'll see if it's long enough. That's always the key. My box. And then there's some more sticky tape bits in here, double-sided tape. Two of those, and here is the 12-volt plug with two USBs in it. Oh, there's more, okay. And looks like what I'd change the tire with on my bicycle, but I think it's for prying something off, probably the double-sided tape, I'd imagine. Feels, oh, it's good plastic, okay. And more double-sided pads. Okay, that's it. That's it for the camera. So that's the actual main unit. And we'll have a look at the rear camera, RC01, it's called apparently. So in here we have two compartments again. This looks like a really long cable. All right, so that's for mounting the rear. Okay, not that one. That's probably for power. That is very, very long. That looks very long. That looks at least like 5 meters. Okay, and this must be the camera itself. In here, little bag. Okay, so we get some sort of wiring harness. That's for connecting it probably to the rear light, like the reversing light or something, to give it power, I'd imagine. Not sure. Well, we need power all the time, don't we? Anyway, we'll figure that out. And here is the camera itself with, you can turn it there, that's quite nice. like that, to mount it and position it. There's the mounting pad, and that's it. There's the camera. There's no buttons or anything on it. Okay, that's what we get for rear camera, front camera, lots of wiring. And then we have this wiring harness. It looks like it. Let's see what is in here. That's it, okay. So this has some Japanese writing with record on it. Maybe that's a warning sign you can put in your window, I think. We have the actual SD card that comes with it, very nice. That's a 32 gigabytes, so not huge, but workable. There's some power hardware kit with parking guard signal specifications. We'll go through that in a bit more detail when I know what it actually does. But this is for parking guard signal. I don't know what parking guard is. It's probably like sentry mode on Teslas, so you know someone's coming past, but I don't know what all this does. Okay, but that's all the bits we get. So let's try and get some sense of where everything goes, and then we'll install it on this car. Right, so here's the plan. I'm going to install it the best I can, and I say that because it didn't come with instructions, and it's such a new product right now when I'm recording that I can't find the instruction manual online. However, I think it's pretty simple. So first off, we're going to figure out where to put obviously the camera, which means I'm going to power it with the 12 volt in the car. The other way to power it, which we may do later depending on my skills, is that you can use this harness that came with it that I showed you, but this is designed for constant powering rather, which means you can also have the cameras on 24/7 for parking monitoring. So I'm hoping we get to that later in the video. I'm going to see what I can do. So for now, we're not going to do this. We will get to that a bit later. I'm going to put this up here. First, you've got to figure out where to put it. I'm going to power it with a 12 volt. I'm going to hook up the rear camera rudimentarily, just with the wire, not pretty, but just so we can test it. So I stopped that installation because it didn't quite go to plan. So instead, what I've done is I've installed it properly. Yeah, so let me just show you that. So first of all, of course, we have the eyes themselves. So there's the Akio eyes, intelligent driving assistant, as they like to call it, but it's a dash cam. And I've then got the cord, or the cables, are sort of going up into the headliner there, and then they go all the way around here and down here, and then it actually goes across for the power for the unit, goes across behind the dash, and it's powered from inside behind in there. I found a power source, so behind the glove box. And then the rear camera goes all the way down here and in the door sill and behind here. And then it goes down here as well behind all this. So I've had all this off. And then it goes up under the seal here, and then it goes in the back. And I'll show you the back here. So the back, it goes underneath all this plastic. So I've had all that apart. And then it comes up, and it goes actually up here. And you can see there is the cable that comes out for the rear camera, which I've mounted here. So that sits on the window. Right, and the signal for the rear camera, which you need to know when it's in reverse, that has come from this rear light here. So it's powered into the reversing light, which is there. So what that means is that if I close this, the camera sits just there, and points out the back. It was supposed, I guess, to be mounted here somewhere, but I've already got a reversing camera built into the car, so I didn't actually need that, and it's a lot easier to put it there. So that's the setup. It's done properly. It's hardwired in. I'm not using the 12 volt plug from the car, so there's almost no cable showing, and I'm very happy with that install. So next, let me show you how it all works. So we're going to take this for a drive, and then we'll see all the features, because it works really well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So all right, let's go. So if you're interested in your own eyes from Akio, then use the link down below in the description, and depending on when you see it, there might even be a bit of discount or a good deal. Who knows? And please do remember to subscribe if you like this content, because that's how you support the channel. Well, that's one of the ways. Another way could be to check out the merch, or use the super thanks, or leave a comment. There's many ways that you can be part of the community, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, don't forget, check out the link. Okay, back to the video. Let's have a look at some of the AI detections. First off, you can see here there's a notification that the car in front is moving, so you can start moving as well. Next, you'll see a red bar on the left and a red bar at the bottom. On the left, that is the blind spot assist, and at the bottom, that's the rear collision warning, which also has an audible sound. There you go, watch out for the rear car. And it will continue to say that as there is a car too close behind you. There it was again. So you might want to, turn the volume down on that if you're going to use, there it is again, if you're going to use that as well. Here's the nighttime footage, so apologies for the quality, but as we change lane over that marker, you'll see there is a lane departure assist icon coming up. That is probably the one that is the most chatty in my opinion. This is the pedestrian warning, so as I walk in front, you can see the notification come up, and that, so I don't hit myself. Anyway. The Akio eyes have 3 cameras, 2 at the front and 1 at the back, and you can display them in different ways here as I'll show on the screen. So you have here's the rear camera is the main one, the 2 front facing ones are forward. You can have only the front wide camera, or again only the front telephoto or zoomed in camera. And then you can of course have just the rear camera as well. So there's a combination of how you want to show these cameras on the screen as well. So now you get an idea of all the features and functions when you're driving, and it works remarkably well. So let's have a look at what is actually on the screen, the different settings and things, just so an idea of what we can adjust, because there's some of the things that you probably do want to adjust. So okay, let's have a look at that. So here's the screen. Obviously there's a few things on the screen. We have the recording status and time up here, so that you can see it's recording, it's counting up. We have 2 little cameras here, which says, whether the AI is enabled for front and rear camera. Then there is which cameras are enabled, because you can obviously turn the rear camera off. There is the microphone, whether that's switched on or off. That's the little symbol there. Then we have the satellite connection, whether we have a GPS connection or not, and whether the Wi-Fi is turned on. And then we have, it says weak signal right now for the GPS, because we're on the roof, I guess. There is the kilometers an hour. Then on the side here we have sort of a toggle up and down button. If you press it once, it'll be like a screensaver. You can turn the screen on. It'll still be recording, but in case you want to have it not as bright, you can turn that off. You can press it again, it'll come back on. You can hold it down for 4 seconds, and then you will enter the settings menu, but we'll do that another way. And then there is a reset button at the bottom. Obviously that's for resetting it. And then on the side here, there is a power button, which you can turn the whole thing off with, or you can press it once to lock the video. So if there's an event that has occurred, you want to store it, you press that. At the bottom here, we also have 3 LEDs. There's a red one, which you can see they're flashing slowly. That means it's normal operation. It could also flash quickly, which is an emergency, or it can be completely steady on, which means that the whole thing is stopped. So that's like a status indicator. There's a blue one that's flashing quickly. That's waiting for Wi-Fi connection. That will go solid if you have Wi-Fi. And then there's a green one, which is something to do with the memory card. If there's a problem with that, it'll flash green. So if it needs to reset it or something. All right, so we go into the settings, which is that little button down there. And then we have various settings options that we can turn on and off. So the top row here is things you can turn on and off. We can turn the sound recording on or off. That's that first button. We can turn the sound output on or off. You might want to do that. We'll get to that a little bit later, why you might want to do that. The Wi-Fi, you can turn it on and off. So you need Wi-Fi to connect to the phone app. And then you can turn the rear camera AI features on or off, not the camera itself. Then we have the video files. You can access those here. You can take a picture with that, just a picture button. This one is to return back to the recording page. Then we have the voice activated switch. So apparently it has voice activation. I haven't tested it out actually, but maybe. And then there are the settings, which is the one I wanted to have a look at. So there's a bunch of settings in here. There's for recording, system, and AI. So we'll start with recording settings. That's the resolution for each camera. You can mirror the rear camera as well. We can have camera IQ mode inside the car, so light colored film. I'm not entirely sure what that means, to be honest. And there's a bunch of settings about how you want the picture to look. So there's WDR, there's HDR, there's auto recording, that's when you start the car. And then we have the event cycle, so we just cycle the events. We keep looping the recordings on the SD card, so it never runs out. And then we can, well, the length of the loop recording can be 1 minute. You can change that to 3 or 5. The collision sensitivity, you might want to change that. I put it to high because I'm testing it, but that means it bongs all the time. So you could change that and put it on sort of say medium and see how well that works for you. But yeah, it might change, it might, differ in different scenarios. Exposure compensation for the image. Whether you want to record sound or not, you can change that. We can put date stamps on the footage. GPS stamp, personalized stamp. So that could be, I'm not actually sure what the personalized stamp is, but you can. We have parking monitor. There are certain settings here. You have G-sensor, and then you have a bunch of time-lapse hours. So sort of 2 ways you can do this. G-sensor is when the parking monitor is on, if something shakes the cars or knocks it or something, it will record the cameras, and you will get a file for that. If you put that on the time lapse, then you will get, after you stopped the ignition, turn it off, you get this many hours of time lapse from that point. I hope that makes sense. And in this case, I have it on the G sensor for now, but I also tested the hours. So let's just have a look at what files we got, which when you go into the file manager here, they are under normal. So if you go under normal, you have to find them in here. So for example, you can see I have 7 pages of files. In this case, we can see there are some here, which looks like they were from it was parked, but it was from this morning. So we got to find the ones that are from last night. So here is one I know is a time lapse. So you can see here that how it runs through, and you get a minute worth of time lapse, which is about half an hour. So that's the speed it runs at. So for every half hour, you get 1 file, which is about a minute long. And you can see it's been recording just as it's been parked. And then you can go through that footage and see if anything happened. Obviously, if I had it on the G sensor, which I did before, if there was an event of something, then you would find that file of something shaking the car or something to that effect. So that's the parking monitor mode. It works quite well, but you do have to hardwire it in with that special harness that you saw at the start of the video. So yeah, let's move on. Then we have system settings, the Wi-Fi connection, power on sound. That's just an annoying thing that goes Akio, so I turn that off. Touchscreen sound, I always turn that off. The language settings for it, speed, units, frequency, screen protector is off. Indicator brightness, screen brightness, time, date, time zone, all those regular things that you would expect to find in the settings are in there. And then we have the AI settings, and they're for the front and the rear camera mainly, but we can correct the AI, so that's reset it to so it knows where the road is. That works remarkably well, so that's good to know. We have the AI sensitivity, and I might want to change that back to medium as well. I was testing it. Again, it's a bit noisy if it's on high. The front camera, we can set the alerts we want: front car starting, collision warning, pedestrian road crossing, and lane departure. And similarly for the rear, we can say blind spot assist and rear collision warning. So you can turn those on and off. And then we have the rear camera AI correction, you can do that too. Speech recognition, you can set that on. Fatigue driving reminder, that's a bit annoying I find, especially in Australia where we drive long distances. You get this, yeah, anyway. There's the ADAS sound. I'm not entirely sure what that one does. Anyway, and the BSD sound. So yeah, if you want to change those sounds. But that's it, what there is for the screen. Pretty simple really, and easy to set up. So let's have a look at the app. And as you can see here, I've got the app right there next to me, right here. And there's not a lot you can do with the app, but there's a few interesting bits. So first of all, of course you can see the screen. So you can see the camera there in front of me, which is you watching me watch anyway. And you can change the camera by pressing that little button top left here, and that'll then give me, there's two cameras on the front, as you might have noticed. One is a widescreen, one is a more of telephoto type thing. So you can see here it changes to that. So that's more sort of, yeah, telephoto. And then I can switch to the rear camera. Just give it a sec here. There's the rear camera. And then I can switch to the front camera. So you can do that if someone else is driving. You can look at the driving on the screen instead of, I don't know. And then you have the, you can turn the microphone on and off. You can record, you can pause recording right there in the middle. Pressing that, and it should tell me, or recording stopped, or start recording. And then you can take a picture. That's about it. That's what you can do there. The camera file, that's kind of neat. I've used that to download some of the footage you've seen in this video from the camera. So all the files will be here. So there's the loop file. So they're the ones that will be overridden. You have some snapshot files. So there's the one I just took. There's a few others from the other day. Locked is when you've pressed the button on the side. So that little button there, which is the power button as well as the lock button. That's when you store an event. So I've tried that out a few times, as you can tell. Not loading the preview, but whatever. There's a few there. And then we have the parking. So those are the files. Start recording, we go back. And then we have the camera settings, which are some of the same settings as we saw before on the screen, but not all of them. So I'm not sure what the logic is for some of these, but there's a few settings here you can change. Sound recording, video resolution, etc. And then you have some of the units, and then the Wi-Fi, you can change the Wi-Fi name, and there's a firmware version. That's about it. So the app doesn't do a whole lot, but it does have some useful features like downloading the actual files and seeing the snapshots that you've taken or the events that you've locked. So yeah, that's the app. So that's the AI dashcam, or the AI driving assistant, or the intelligent driving assistant. Apparently it has many names. It's a dashcam that does a bit more. So what do you think? Well, for me, I'm impressed, to be honest, because all the dashcam features that you expect from a dashcam works really well. The high quality image, it's super stable, it doesn't wobble at all. It's really on there properly, not like I have a Garmin dashcam in another car, and it always droops, and it's really annoying. This just hasn't. It seems super stable. The quality seems really well built. Like it's really well done. I'm not just saying that because they sent it to me as a review unit. That's not what this channel's about. This is a genuinely good product. Then we come to the AI features, which are the 6 different sort of alerts that you get. You have your lane change, you have your pedestrian warning, you have your car in front of you moving, and the collision warning. And then you have the perimeter sensors, you know, the whether there's a car next to you. What's that called again? Anyway, that sensor. And then you have a reverse collision warning as well. Or not reverse, but a car coming from behind. And you know what? They all work. They all work surprisingly consistently. I'm impressed with how well that works, just based on, I didn't calibrate anything. I just put it on the window and it worked. It's really, really well done. Now, are there cons? Yes. One of the things is that it is super chatty. The lane departure, if you have that on, because it doesn't know when you're indicating, so every time you change lane, it'll tell you lane departure, even though you're indicating you're changing the lane. That, to be honest, can get a bit tiring. So yeah, you might want to turn that off and you know, you end up turning off the feature because it's just so chatty. You can turn the volume off. That's what I alluded to earlier, and that is probably a good option if you just want with the visual warnings, because if you have it mounted so it's just in your periphery, you will see the visual warnings. So yeah, by far the pros outweighs the cons. It is a genuinely good product, and I would encourage you to check it out using the link down in the description, because this is one of those things. I've never heard of this brand. I never thought of putting AI things into a dash cam, but it works. So let me know what you think. Put a comment down below. Subscribe if you like the content. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.